chamber. It's sealed off so that we can add water to the specimen. And then the soil specimen is going to go inside of this ring. So it's just a matter of getting it inside that ring, putting it in there, and then starting to load the sample. So there's a little trick to it, and I'll try to explain it a little bit, but I'm not going to be able to explain it all. You need one of these, and then you just kind of, I think you construct it upside down. So you're setting these on top, and then we've got filter papers here. So there's a filter paper that goes in between the soil and then you're going to clean off one ring from your sample, and then you'll set that on there, and then you'll put another piece of filter paper on top of your soil sample, and then put this what do we call it? Yeah, porous stone, thank you. So you set that on top of your sample, and then, oh wait, no, your sample's going to be in here, my bad. I skipped a step. Your ring is going inside of this little holder. Holds your soil sample. There's a little bolt here to tighten it down and lock it in there. Then you set it on top. And then the porous stone fits in there. And then this goes over it, and you just flip it over. I think that's how it goes. Read the lab manual, because I don't do this every day. And you don't want to mess this part up. This is just the setup. And then everybody will have a little clipboard here. And I have some extra consolidation tests if you don't have one. This is in the back of your lab book. And it's just the readings that you have to take with effective stress, and then a place for the reading, and then a few other comments. So today we'll be doing a seeding load of 100 pounds per square foot, and then adding another 100 to make it 200. So the key now that everybody messes up on, and when you come in to add the weights, just remember that you are adding weight. You never take a weight off. If you take a weight off, then the soil can rebound and expand a little bit. So when you come in, you're just adding a weight. Got it? So it's kind of tricky because we have to add a certain increment, weight increment, and the load sequence is right here. You can see there's a full sequence where we're adding a lot more. That's going to take 11 days. And I think the master students use that full sequence, but we're just going to use the 8-day sequence. And I'll go through this sequence real quick so that you can see what we're adding. So we start out tonight with this little weight here. It's equivalent of adding 100 pounds per square foot. Yeah. So it's equivalent of adding 100 pounds per square foot. So we add that on to, actually right down here. I don't want to load it because, oh, you can see, these ones already have the load on there. So the load goes on the bottom tray. These ones go on the bottom tray, and then up top will be these weights later. All right, so first, we start out with 100. That's the first load right here. You can see step 1 is 100. And then step it says step 1B, because tonight we're adding the 100 to seed it. Then we're gonna add another one to start the loading. So we're adding 100 tonight, and then before you leave, you're gonna add another 100 to make it 200, right? Super easy adding that. But then tomorrow somebody's gonna have to come in, and somebody's gonna, every time, no matter, I try to explain it like really clear, and I can't get it. So hopefully we'll figure it out here. So tomorrow when you come in, you have 200 on there, and the load sequence says 400. So you don't have to add 400 more, you just have to add up to 400. So you could add one of these that say 200. Don't use a combination of these because then we'll run out of the smaller ones. So you should always just be adding, I want to say you should always be adding one weight, but there is one where you have to add a couple, and I'll show you. So that's 200, I just added it up to 400, that's day 2. All right, day 3 is time when we're not adding any load. We're just adding water to the sample. So the group that comes in here on day 3 will take this water bottle and just fill up until the water comes up over the sample. I don't know if you can see there. Nobody's added water yet. So you're filling up inside this little tray with that until the water comes up over the sample. It doesn't have to be DI water, it can just be tap water. So find a bottle, if there's water already in it, great. If you need to add water to it, tap water's okay. And it's just coming up over the sample. It doesn't have to be all the way to the top, it just has to be over the sample. So that's day 3, you didn't add any weight, you just added water. Day 4, we need to go, it says 800, so we have 400, there's got to be one here that says 400, so we can just add one weight. So here's the one that says 400 on the side here. There's a little mark, Andre, a little mark on the side, sorry, I'm not, because I know it will get confused. So there's 400, that's day 4, we're up to 800 pounds per square foot now. So all that is 400 pounds per square foot on our little specimen. Which is kind of, we're getting up to be a lot. Now day 5, we have to get 1600, which is double the amount of what we have there. So 800 plus, if we find another one that says 800 right here, that adds up to 1600. So we haven't taken any weight off. It's just adding. You don't have to do a combination of smaller weights. There should always be like one weight you're adding. So we're up at 1600. We need to add another 1600 to get to 3200. So then now we're getting into these weights. So here's one that says 1600 on it. So the 16 plus 16 is 32. So with this one, it's just gonna slide on top of this tray here and sit on this bench like that. You see it? You wait? All right. Hopefully people saw that. So this one's gonna be on the bottom. We got 1600 on the bottom tray. You don't ever have to take it off. You can leave it on there. So, but now we're up to 3,200 pounds per square foot. And this is where I jump, and it's not a single weight. So from 3,200 to 12,800 is a lot more than just one weight. So we have to add a combination of weights to get there. What's 12,800 minus 3,200? Does anybody do that math right now? Is that 9,500?
9,600.
So we need 9,600. So we have one here that says 3,200. We're just gonna put that right on top of the other one on that little tray. So we didn't have to move the other one, we just put it right on top. And we also need this one, which is actually 20 pounds. So be careful lifting this down there. I recommend moving this out of the way first so you have a nice clear space to slide it onto the tray. And you'll just set it on top. And now you're at 12,800. That's day 7. So you're almost done. The next day is unloading. So we're loading it, squishing it down, and then we're gonna take the weight off and watch the soil rebound because it's elastic. It's not gonna fully deform. It's gonna come back up. So we're gonna take off so that we have 800 pounds. So this one, you could just leave this one on there, it's 800 pounds. Or if you wanna take off all the larger weights, you definitely take off all these, the sliding, the heavier weights. Definitely take all those off. And then you can take this one off, or you can take these 4 off. I think it'd be easier just to take this one off because those ones are gonna be buried under it. And you don't wanna take off more because then it'll mess with your sample. And then that's it. Then you can take your final reading the next day after unloading, and you'll be done. So, is that clear? Oh. It's really difficult when you're in here by yourself. It's like, what the heck did he say?
So will you do it over the weekend too?
Yeah, it's gotta be, if you miss the weekend, it means that we have to, extend it. So like Sunday, I'm not sure if people will be in here. So it might have to, if you miss a day and nobody's here, then you'll just have to pick it up the following day. And the reason why we're waiting so long is because it takes a long time. We could put it all on tonight and watch what happens, but it takes a long time. Basically what you're doing is squishing the water out of the soil. So there's gonna be water and soil in between, or soil and water in between. And to squeeze it out, it takes a long time for that water to get from the middle of the sample out. So you have to wait 24 hours. Yeah, and in practice, it's the same thing. We load it every day. There's no special way of doing it. There are some pneumatic ones now that I think might be able to do it for you, but I haven't seen any in Southern California. Yeah. So let me go through that process one more time and write it on the board real quick. So because there's another